Hello from World University and School on Monday, June 1st, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's 10:30 p.m. India time, and it may be 1 in the morning Hong Kong time. And if you'd like to join this open WUAS question and answer World University and School weekly business meeting, please let me know at sgkmcleod at worlduniversityandschool.org. I also post this announcement with the Zoom URL on Twitter and LinkedIn. And as we wait to see if people will join this open WUAS weekly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of Friends, NTFs, Quakers, and somewhat consensus oriented, I'd like to share a little news with you and with an agenda as well. So, dear World University and School community and networks, Universitians all, greetings, and here are some great new World University and School WUAS developments. Some new possibilities with aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies and FDA approved. First ones by 2050, thanks to Google I/O 2026, Google Input Output 2026, online sessions, and Sundar Pichai's knowledge of Google and Alphabet, agentic AI models and platforms. And in one, iterating realistic virtual Earth at the genetic level 2. Item A1, how best might we begin to hashtag age reverse with hashtag Yamanaka factors, COSK, are hashtag organs, cells, differentially back to, say, 2007, 2012, 2024, or to age 7, age 12, and age 24 for us as individuals even. And in hashtag G Street View, hashtag G Time Slider, and with the @Harbin book on Twitter X, Gatehouse dates here in Google Street View with Time Slider and the Harbin Gatehouse, and with GPegman, hashtag GPegman, as hashtag Avatar Agent EHR, Avatar Agent Electronic Health Records. So, how might we be able to age reverse with OSK Yamanaka factors in Google Street View with Time Slider, with GPegman as our avatar agent electronic health records? For example, the cells of my right ear's eustachian tube dysfunction or swimming water wound, which I think began in a Yale University swimming program in the mid-1960s when I was about 8 or so. And differentially from, say, age reversal, our whole body mind systems back to, for example, age 24 with G Street View with G Time Slider at the cellular level with OSK, OCT2, SOX2, K4, Yamanaka factors, and safely regarding FDA approval of such drug therapies, possibly first ones in 2050. So would it be possible in Pegman as our avatar agent electronic health records to reverse virtually my right ear's water wound cells back to age 7 with a time slider function in a Google Street View with time slider platform at the cell view level and at the genetic view level, and with OSK, OCT2 and SOX4 Yamanaka factors. So how best to do this? And this retweets, this is a set of Twitter posts regarding Alex Plesa, who's a Harvard researcher studying Yamanaka factors, and his Twitter post, which says, "Can we reverse aging? 7 years ago, Ocampo et al. Showed that partial reprogramming can ameliorate aging hallmarks. But OSKM induction has safety limitations, and no new factors have emerged since." And here's a bioRxiv article about this, which they use as screens to find new rejuvenation factors. Read more about this in my blog post, Beginning Northern Spotted Owl, in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com's blog, beginning dated 5/2026. And further, item A2, thanks for the stellar yogic Google I/O 2026, Sundar Pichai. And yoga greetings, Sundar and all. And thanks for the recaps and the keynotes that are now available online. And regarding possibly even beginning to work with aging reversal genetic drug therapies, both with, say, Isomorphic Labs, AlphaFold 3 server and what comes after that, in terms of predicting all known molecular compounds with machine learning, but also the Santa Barbara Google quantum computer at UCSB and at the qubit level. And in a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal, a realistic virtual Earth for extreme longevity, a realistic virtual Earth for genetics, and a realistic virtual Earth for yoga asana and yoga. This is something I'm exploring further in a yoga class I'm teaching that's open on Saturdays at 8 a.m. your time, and I post weekly. Some explorations restorative-wise for this yoga adventure or journey. And see especially the blog post beginning American Lotus in my blog of May 2026, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com in some of these regards. So how to grow also with one, in terms of one of the announcements at Google I/O 2026 regarding the Universal Commerce Protocol, which many large companies are joining Google in developing. How to grow further, and potentially in a realistic virtual Earth as well, a hashtag worldwide abolition movement with all these remarkable AI and ML developments. And for example, hashtag Universal Commerce Protocol on Twitter X and LinkedIn X, and in at World Univ and SCH, coding for all 7.9 billion people, and to distribute potentially hashtag Pi Crypto, and potentially to end poverty.
It's Monday. I know
So,
that sound.
set of Twitter posts in these regards. potentially to end poverty with Wiki, also hashtag free universal education. Agenda item B. Regarding the WUAS Corporation for-profit wing in the state of California, our second World University and School wing, and its beginning webpage is at worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. How will WUAS be able to develop with Stanford MinePi cryptocurrency? And you can get your Stanford MinePi cryptocurrency with this invitation code right now, minepi.com/SGKMAC. And how will the WS Corporation develop with it initially? As a for-profit general stock company in the state of California, and even possibly with time, list the WUAS Corporation on a stock exchange, such as the NASDAQ or the Silicon Valley Long-Term Stock Exchange, or multi-list the WUAS Corporation on stock exchanges in many countries. And regarding also the academic press at WUAS in 7,159 living languages with machine and human translation, and the WUS educational services stores in all 200 countries. So will World University and School, with a partnering email from Stanford MinePi, be able to begin to accept for our books that the academic press at WUS publishes, and for in our WS educational services stores planned in all 200 countries, as we seek to develop initially with store within a store model with Walmart in 19 out of 200 countries. Will we be able to accept Stanford MinePi cryptocurrency, for example, and as a mode of currency, as a medium of exchange? So perhaps, a recent upcoming Stanford Law, a recent just happened Stanford Law School conversation with SEC Chairman, Security and Exchange Commission Chairman Paul S. Atkins on Tuesday, May 26th, might have helped. So more about this next week, but I attended this and have emailed Secretary, SEC Chairman Paul S. Atkins about the WUS Corporation and potentially doing an initial public offering with the WUS Corporation, and how this would work with SEC guidance or administrative approval or similar. And item B1, interoperating effectively. How could the WS Corporation listing on a stock market, for example, interoperate effectively with our first wing of World University and School, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, a US federal and state of California tax-exempt legal entities, and see the candid profile for this. Further, item B2, and how might the Grow with Google WUAS program for World University and School, WUAS, potentially help with coding these two wings, these two WUAS wings, especially initially. Item C. So World University and School's open WS weekly business meeting, news and question and answer, meet on Mondays. Today, June 1st, 2026, at 9 a.m. Mexico City time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, Mountain time, 11 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. 10:30 p.m. India time, 1 a.m. Tuesday, the next day, Hong Kong time. But please check your time converters to join this. With the Zoom URL posted in the blog about 8 days before, Monday, the week before, for anyone to join this WUS News and Question and Answer. Looking to see if anyone wants to join right now. So here is the agenda and news for, here's the agenda for today, June 1st, using the Mount Tamalpais blog posts, beginning with the Mount Tamalpais, posted on Monday, May 25th, 2026, in the World University and School.blogspot.com blog and the scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. I'll post the video recording of today's June 1st, 2026 WS weekly business meeting as kind of video minutes to today's blog post with the Huangdong Mountains in China, beginning both blogs for this WS weekly business meeting, World University and School.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. And using the agenda from last Monday, May 25th, 2026, beginning Mount Tamalpais in both blogs. So World University and School is growing daily, and blog post by blog post too, and waiting, I think, for accreditation opportunities to further develop. And this recent Middle States Commission on Higher Education conference or webinar entitled AI-Enabled Accreditation, dated May 8th, 2026, and as a video recording, may help, but further developments in these regards are needed for World University and School to further begin developing, potentially with Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in the greater Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. And also in WUS seeking to deploy with the full US federal toolkit as well. Item E. And WUS is waiting for money for grants.gov, possibly, or and how to grow a flourishing, engaged and engaging research community online. MIT and Harvard's course, synthetic biology course, how to grow almost anything, which is an online science course, could be a model. And the label in both blogs, HTGAA, for how to grow almost anything, is something opens avenues to seeing what HTGAA was doing in January to May of 2025 when I took this course. George Church is a key faculty member in it, teaches it. And how best to grow an engaged and engaging WUAS wiki teaching and wiki learning community, with wiki teachers and wiki learners teaching and learning in any of these subjects at the subjects wiki subject page at wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/subjects with a capital S. We're beginning new ones, first in English, but then in all 200 countries, main languages, and then among speakers of all 7,159 living languages, in all of these languages. And with wiki subjects one can create, for example, about what one loves to do or teach or learn about. And both online with familiar computer screens, 2D or 3D, and in our homes potentially, in developing realistic virtual Earth, in digital glasses or similar hardware. and especially in WUS multimedia rooms and WUS hospital multimedia rooms, and potentially also in the WUS Academic Medical Center. And for example, out of 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California, 94516, potentially too. And see how to view Google Street View in a smart meeting room video in some of these regards. All the best abolitionally, best STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, Creative Commons licensed open courseware wiki at World Univ and SCH. Hashtag WUS abolition movement continues to grow to protect people. And see the blog post beginning Eagle, Aquila, in both blogs, World University and School.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from October of 2025 regarding growing an abolition movement. And in WUS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet to facilitate wiki free universal education and potentially to end poverty worldwide. Yogically, 8 limbs of yoga, friendly NTF, NTQ, Quaker, and Unitarian Universalist Church greetings. Kind regards, Scott G.K. McCloud. So the recording will be posted for today's WUS weekly business meeting to the main active YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott McCloud World University /videos, and also to the main blog posts for today as well, beginning Huanggang Mountains in Sichuan, Yunnan, China. So how best to potentially connect with National Olympic committees and to develop even or explore developing Olympic students who might have interest from the Olympic teams in all 200 countries in studying for online free World University and school degrees, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in its 7 languages as we seek to grow in all 200 countries and in their main languages for free degrees, bachelor, PhD, law, medicine, IB high school, AAAS, and master's degrees. So moving on to the World University and School wing, the WUS wing. I see an email. Might it be someone interested in joining? Not at this time. The first of 2 WUS wings, the World University and School wing, a 501c3 or similar nonprofit. It's also a state of California tax-exempt legal entity. And regarding the 501c3 or similar nonprofit, see the candid.org profile for World University and School as a nonprofit. Candid.org is affiliated with the IRS. app.candid.org/profile World University and School. And which wing is building on Creative Commons licensed best STEAM OpenCourseWare, and which wing is also wiki for open wiki teaching and wiki learning. And the webpage, the beginning webpage is worlduniversityandschool.org, and see both exempt legal entities tax IDs at the bottom of worlduniversityandschool.org. Agenda item 0. Monday, May 18th, 2026. Trinity Alps Wilderness is the blog post for the World University and School Weekly Business Meeting from 2 weeks ago, and its video recording is posted too as video minutes. Check that out. Agenda item 1. There was a recent great presentation at Stanford Law Codex on May 21st by Slava Ruduchenko, originally from Ukraine, and regarding the Human Impact Project and his developing platform for O-1A immigration AI tools. And his knowledge of these platforms and these coding languages is great, and curious how the Human Impact Project could potentially be added to the Ukraine Law School at World University and School in Ukrainian, and also with his great knowledge of platform management and coding of these. In what ways could Slava Rudchenko help develop and build out the Ukraine Law School at World University and School itself in Ukrainian? And also Ukraine World University and School itself from the Nation States Wiki subject page, also in Ukrainian language, and perhaps with related AI immigration projects in Ukrainian too, and facilitate also potentially in possibly building out this platform, wiki teaching and wiki learning by Ukrainians, by Ukrainian speakers at Ukraine World University and School in Ukrainian. And read more about this in the blog posts beginning Cornflower Centauri Cianus in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from May of 2026. Agenda item 2. Search further on George Church Age Reversal 2050, about 25 years from now, and how regarding the Google I/O 2026 online conference to develop a complementary approach to George Church's many approaches in a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal, and think Google Street View with Time Slider and G-Cell View and G-Molecule View, and now agentic AI, and also, for example, TensorFlow AI and Gemini AI. And a set of Twitter posts about this, how to develop complementary #aging reversal, #extreme longevity genetics, #virtual Earth in Google I/O 2026 to @GeoChurches, great approaches regarding 2050 and AI mode from Google search response to this question. And in a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal, and think G Street View with G Time Slider, G Cell View, G Molecule View, and read the AI mode response. It's fascinating. And read more about this in the blog post beginning Cornflower Centauri Cianus in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from May of 2026. Agenda item 3. In a blog post titled Yellow-Crested Cockatoo, I was glad to be able to attend and write about a paper that Devika Narayan, who's an assistant professor at the University of Bristol, gave at Sciences Po in Paris, France, titled Between the Cloud and a Hard Place, a thesis on technological transformation on May 29th. And as part of the Sciences Po edition of Digital Materials Seminar, I attended last Friday. In many ways, it was a presentation on cloud computing developments and regarding capitalism. So a political economics presentation. And post more about this and explore more about this next week on June 8th, 2026 in the WS Weekly Business Meeting. But this, Between the Cloud and a Hard Place, our thesis on technological transformation, is potentially very relevant for my upcoming Society, Information Technology, and the Global University book. As are the countries England and France, where Devika Narayan teaches in Bristol, England, and where she gave this paper in Paris, France, and India too, where Devika Narayan is from. These countries are countries World University and School seeks to develop world-class universities in, and could, out of further building of networks with the organizers of the Sciences Po talk, and with Devika Narayan and Bristol University, how could World University and School best build out further England World University and School, and France World University and School, and India World University and School? And read more about this in the blog post beginning Yellow Crested Cockatoo in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from May of 2026. Agenda item 4. Next computers for studying at or developing with World University and School. What computers are you thinking about next when your current laptops and smartphones have reached their final phases? With both my smartphone's Pixel 6a battery on the Android OS getting worse and not great initially, the Google Pixel Phone 9 with Google Pixel phones out having a 10A version presently, and this Google Pixel 9 phone is supposed to have a much better camera and design and battery life that make it shine rather than new AI tricks. And I'm also a fan of the Android OS operating system on smartphones, on Pixel smartphones, and have been using it for years. And the Apple iPhone is up to a version 17, I think. And I think I'm heading for a MacBook Air M5 laptop computer with a 13-inch screen, and which may retail for $1,099 for what I'm interested in. And a review about this says, no longer Apple's MacBook entry point, the 13-inch Air is now a bit of a question mark for students, while the rest of us are probably better off with the larger Air. Thoughts you have about this? And what could World University and School students develop their degree programs with best, and in which countries? Agenda item 5, 2028, hashtag Robo Sienna vans with hashtag an origami shower and toilet, a hashtag Sienna shower, accessible from inside in winter for at World Univ and SCH, hashtag WUS faculty, hashtag WUS students. For WS faculty and WS students in all 200 countries, especially, a set of Twitter posts about this. How in 2028 or beyond could hashtag Toyota Motors, hashtag Toyota Configurator for accessories, design hashtags, hashtag Robo Sienna vans, robotic Siennas, a little bit like the Waymo taxis operating in San Francisco these days. But perhaps one where we could set a course from the San Francisco Bay Area to the Boston, Massachusetts area and just travel through in this Robo Sienna van. And with an origami shower and toilet, a hashtag Sienna shower, accessible from the inside in winter for at World University and schools, hashtag WS faculty, WS students, and for also hashtag US uniformed armed services, etc. And hashtag World Univs, hashtag WS students in 200 countries. There's a brilliant Japanese American designer who has begun the kind of the prototype for an origami shower in the back of a Sienna, which would fold up and fold down. And one would sit on in the luggage area, about a foot below the surface of the back platform of the car, on a meditation bench. And potentially this could be designed for a shower and a toilet. And there's in another video by him, he shows a 2-gallon chemical sprayer, potentially with a heater engineered on top by Toyota and a 10-foot hose that one could take into restrooms, for example, and refill and have a warm shower with in the back of one's Sienna in winter even, potentially popping up this origami shower from the inside. It would be a very there would be much yoga involved in this, and then popping it down even when wet, and to be able to have a shower and a toilet in a Robo Sienna would be great. And if this could become available through a configurator, Toyota configurator, that would also be great. And I retweet this set of posts with the Toyota Hiace or Hiace, which has a lavatory, but which isn't available in the US. So there is kind of a full bathroom, which probably could have a shower in it, in a Toyota Hiace luxury edition, which is also very attractive looking in many ways. Check out this set of Twitter posts in these regards. More about this in the blog post beginning Coast, Redwood, Sequoia sempervirens, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from 2026/05. May, Coast, Redwoods, Sequoia sempervirens. Agenda item 6. Interesting accreditation issues. For example, for online free World University and School, building on MIT OCW in 7 languages, and for studying for free WUS degrees from home in all 200 countries in their languages on a computer, a laptop computer, for example. Item 6A, a news item. Princeton University has officially voted to end its 133-year-old tradition of unproctored in-person exams. So professors will be responsible for proctoring exams in classrooms in Princeton. And this relates to the use of AI in classrooms, for example, as well, and in testing. I think how the exams will be proctored at Princeton by professors, with students probably doing their work on a laptop, will be an involved process. But many implications here for World University and School, as we seek to accredit, potentially with Middle States Commission on Higher Education. Item 6B, Stanford professor teaches quote unquote tech-free classes, the skill he wants students to build, and particularly writing, I think. Tech-free is in quotes probably because a pen or a pencil is also a piece of technology, as a piece of paper might be. But interesting that building skills might involve not using AI, for example, or computing, digital resources for learning. Agenda item 7, how best to explore collaboration with the Stanford Knight Hennessy Scholars Program in all 31 countries it's in, and regarding the 45 graduate degree programs across Stanford University that it's involved with funding for at free to students World University and School. Some teaching possibilities for these Stanford graduate students. Knight Hennessy Scholars, this is a news article from Google, share. Knight Hennessy Scholars announces 2026 cohort of 57 new scholars, the most global cohort to date. So could World University and School develop in all of these 33 countries, I think, 31 countries initially, and to work with Knight Hennessy Scholars, for example. Agenda item 8, a yoga conversation. And as we may live to 150 well beyond, and regarding hashtag yoga and longevity genetics convo on Twitter, X, and LinkedIn, and regarding hashtag yoga asana and hashtag 8 limbs of yoga, hashtag WUAS yoga, and for hashtag aging reversal, in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for yoga asana, and regarding hashtag yoga and infotech, and hashtag yoga and science. So exploring this further in the blog post kind of class, free open meeting on Saturday at 8 a.m. The blog post beginning 8 a.m. American Lotus, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from May of 2026. And curious how in developing a realistic virtual earth for genetics, with potentially a realistic virtual earth for yoga asana, how that can help with longevity and genetics convo, and as we may live to 150 and well beyond. I've reached out to Sundar Pichai after Google I/O 2026, and family and friends in their 80s and 90s. And regarding potentially what Sundar, who I think does yoga, might do with his knowledge of Google and Alphabet's IT platforms and computer science infrastructure. Again, read more about this in the blog post beginning American Lotus, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. Agenda item 9, This has to do with a gunshot that hit my car on May 18th, Monday, 2026, hit the roof of my car and potentially moving in World University and School to a newly safe vacant with property deeds 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California, with heightened awarenesses of law enforcement to the challenges of this situation. So might the gunshot into my WUS vehicle, 2025 Toyota Sienna Woodland Edition minivan, help World University and School move into a newly safe vacant with the property deed 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon 94516, with heightened awareness of law enforcement challenges in this situation? Could it, in many ways, forcefully galvanize or further precipitate the gunshot, my moving in, which I reported to the Oakland Police Headquarters and others as potentially the information technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning of a large array of law enforcement agencies further integrate to protect people. So there's a picture of the gunshot hole in this agenda item and the police report, agenda item 9. Check them out. In the blog post beginning, Coast Redwood, Sequoia sempervirens. So moving on to the other wing, the WUS Corporation, the second of two WUAS wings, the for-profit General Stock Company legal entity in the state of California wing of the WUS Press, WUS Corporation Academic Press at WUS in 7,159 languages with machine learning and human translation. And regarding the WUS Educational Services Stores, and its beginning website is universityandschool.org/academicpress.html, and see the tax ID at the bottom. Agenda item A, a store within a store model for World University and School, WUS, and Walmart. Dear #CEO John Furner and former #CEO Catherine McClay, now #Walmart Strategic Advisor, and #CEO Chris Nicholas. Excited for #WUS store within a store model. At World Univ and SCH on Twitter X, at WS Press on Twitter X, and a #Walmart WUS collaboration regarding the World Univ and SCH store name. What is the best strategy for World University and School, WUS, to develop and implement a store within a store model within Walmart, focusing on student outreach and initial collaboration? Catherine McClay, all. How could World University and Schools WUS Educational Services Stores for books and WUS Presses too, computers, robotics, groceries, hospital technologies, and a related Walmart product line when WUS develops in the remaining 181 countries out of approximately 200 countries, begin to develop with Walmart initially in just 2 or 3 of Walmart's 19 countries, for example, and then all 19 Walmart countries, capital cities possibly, and in their main languages. And for #WUS outreach to students too. For free to students, #WUS degrees online from home, building on MIT OCW in 7 languages. And you can see the other languages besides English that it's in at the opencw.mit.edu apprendi.org translated courses website, and in a hashtag Grow with Google WUS program. And see hashtag Google AI directors, hashtag Peter Norvig's incredible hashtag Toolify AI WUS article here at toolify.ai, revolutionizing education with machine learning and AI, World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024. And regarding a realistic virtual Earth, hashtag realistic virtual Earth, e.g., hashtag for robotics simulations, especially. And eventually with hashtag WUAS robo delivery trucks and hashtag humanoid robot, hashtag delivery robots with hashtag Toyota humanoid robotics, hashtag large behavior models, hashtag LBMs, like LLMs, large language models, and in a realistic virtual Earth for robotics, for simulations, for the digital side of robotics. And how to include hashtag Lego Spike Prime robotics kits with hashtag WUS Lego Robotics, partnering communication with hashtag Stanford Research Fellow, attorney, and former Consul General of Denmark to Silicon Valley, hashtag Soren Juel Jorgensen, with WUAS, an authorized reseller of hashtag Lego robotics kits. And now just hashtag Lego Spike Prime robotics kits, since Walmart isn't an authorized reseller of Lego Spike Prime robotics kits, and which Spike Prime robotics kits work with MIT's free hashtag Scratch programming language. What would you advise strategically, Catherine McClay? And see a previous post in these regards on LinkedIn regarding some questions I asked of Gemini regarding a World University and School partnership, possibly with Walmart, and a store within the store model, and potentially for the World University and School name. And how best for WUS to strategically slot in to Walmart's existing information technology platforms in all of this. Thanks, hashtag Scott GK McLeod. worlduniversityandschool.org is the webpage. And I've added communications about this here on Thursday, May 14th, 2026, to the blog post beginning the Uluguru Mountain Grasshopper in my blog, scott-mcleod.blogspot.com. And see also agenda item A in the recent May 18th, 2026, Monday, WUS weekly business meeting in World University and Schools blog, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com, beginning Trinity Alps Wilderness. Thanks also so much, Jim Sporer, for your Jim Twins' great communications in all of these regards. Friendly NTF Quaker regards, yogically, abolitionally. And I don't think Walmart or Lego have problems with the wrongful buying and selling of people in the illegal sex, drugs, violence, etc. industries internationally, and regarding their latent networks of violence. All the best, Scott. More about this further in the blog post beginning Uluguru Mountain Grasshopper and in my blog, scott-mcleod.blogspot.com. And some LinkedIn posts with this in it. 3 of them, 3 LinkedIn posts in these regards. And in the, also more about this in the blog post beginning African Jacana from scott-mcleod.blogspot.com from May of 2026. So agenda item A1, Walmart executives are leaving following a major engagement restructuring, major management restructuring. This is a news item from Google Share, and interesting to see what emerges in these regards. Agenda item B. Hashtag Pi founders, hashtag Chengdao fan, and hashtag Nicholas Kokolis, hashtag consensus 2026 Miami presentations, and regarding hashtag Pi cryptocurrency, hashtag free money daily. For a recent view of Pi cryptocurrency developments, see the blog posts beginning Stanford Mine Pi WUS Corporation in World University and Schools blog, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com from March of 2023. And regarding World University and Schools seeking to end poverty, potentially with Stanford Mine Pi. And the videos from just a month or so ago of Chengdao Fan and Nicholas Kokolis on a panel as well. Item B1. In the WS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, from you at World University and School, each a Wikidata PIN number, and to facilitate free universal education, and potentially to end poverty too. Agenda item C was an announcement that I posted to twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH and twitter.com/WSPress regarding a Stanford Law School talk by SEC Chairman Paul S. Atkins. Agenda item D. Incredible. Will I be able to harvest my blog, harvest my tweets in Gmail, and with upcoming hashtag Docs Live announced at Google I/O 2026 by Sundar Pichai, and to write further part 2 of hashtag Soch Info Tech and the Global University book? And it appears yes. And it may be out this summer further. It may need a faster smartphone too. Stay tuned. Gemini AI replies, yes, you will absolutely be able to do this. Based on the manuscript you shared, your book, Society, Information Technology in the Global University, is perfectly positioned to leverage the upcoming Docs Live ecosystem announced at Google I/O 2026. Because Docs Live operates as an interconnected AI system across your Google Workspace and the live web, your proposed workflow aligns directly with its technical design. Here is exactly how you can execute this to build on out part 2 and chapter 9 using your voice, AI, and machine learning. Read on in this World University and School agenda item, the Gemini AI response, and more about this in the blog post beginning Cornflower Centaurea Cyanas in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. So agenda item E, check out the Google I/O 2026 conference and how to grow a hashtag worldwide abolition movement further with all these remarkable hashtag AI and ML developments, e.g. hashtag universal commerce protocol, and at World Univ and SCH coding for all 7.9 billion people to distribute hashtag Pi crypto and potentially to end poverty. And more about this in the blog post beginning Yellow-Crested Cockatoo from May of 2026, as well as in more recent blog posts beginning Chinese pangolin on Saturday, May 30th, I think. So yes, it's in the letter to Security and Exchange Chairman Paul S. Atkins. So that's the WUS Weekly Business Meeting on Monday, June 1st, 2026. And I'll post the recording of this to the current active YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University, and to the main blog posts for today, which begin Huangdong Mountains in Yunnan, Sichuan, China, using the blog post from last week, beginning agenda and news beginning Mount Tamalpais in both blogs, as well as to the LinkedIn and the active Twitter X feeds, profiles, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, twitter.com/WUS Press. Any questions? Know students who might be interested in free online degrees, possibly beginning this autumn even? Let me know at SGKMACLEOD at World University and School. And until next week, June 8th, looking forward to further communication in many ways over the web, as is happening quite a lot. So see you next week, and bye for now.